Hello everyone, welcome to Software Testing Zone. So for interview today we are having a candidate, Hemlata. She's having total 3.7 years of experience, out of which 3.1 year of experience into the automation. And she has worked on all our testing concepts like SDLC, STLC, and other core Java concepts, data-driven framework she has used, test engine framework she has used. She has also used PDD Cucumber, which is another framework which we use where we use gherkin formats and all. So she's having a good exposure to the technology, and I'll be covering all those technologies in our interview. The questions will be based on Java programming and real-time questions on the website. I'll be using a GoiBibo website for today's interview, and I'll be asking questions for different functionalities which GoiBibo website is having. So I hope this interview will be really helpful for you. Do watch it until the end, so the spectrum of questions which I have covered in this interview will be useful for you. And let's start with the interview.
Write a program for palindrome stream. You can use Node. What you're doing?
This is a forward loop, sir, for printing the reverse string. First, palindrome means MOOM. If you reverse the string, like MOOM. If it is a palindrome, then print the palindrome. Is that right, sir?
Yeah, but if you want to reverse a string, you should start with the last character, right? But you are starting
Ah,
with the first character only.
no, sir, it will execute, sir. I'm sure. Okay, I will here for testing. This is a forward loop, sir, for writing the reverse string. This one, sir. Uh, this is a forward loop, sir. We can write like I is equal to s dot length minus one,
Hmm.
and I greater than or equal to zero, and I minus minus. That is the uh,
Backward loop.
this. Yes, sir. This is a forward loop for printing the reverse string, sir. Uh, if it is by using this condition, we can write like if s is equal to if s dot equal to
Hmm.
sb, then print palindrome. This is the program, sir, for
Okay, executed,
not palindrome,
not
sir.
palindrome. Now you can do it by using string builder also, right?
For reverse the string, sir.
Yeah, a reverse single string. Or if we want to optimize this code, we have to reduce this line of code. How can we do that? Using string builder?
Yes, sir. String. We can use string builder or string data, sir. There is a method, sir, like
Hmm.
string.
One more program. Let us say we are having a string. India is my country.
Right,
Declare
sir.
one string. Country. Now what we have to do is we have to find out the largest word in the make it I is less than or equals to SB length.
Okay.
No, in for loop, you have given only less than condition, right? Make it less
Yes,
than
sir.
or equals to. And
Generally,
length,
first of all, I of zero means India. India less than or equal less than SB of J is I is SB of I means India less than is false condition. Then I incremental. So now I two uh, India less than or equal to MI
mhm.
false condition. And now India less than or equal to country. It's a true condition.
So that's why
It
it's
will,
printing India, no?
but coming to the loop
It should
after
print
complete.
J. It should print J. You have
Uh,
mentioned SB of I because country is not less than. Huh.
yeah, is
No, no.
fine.
The condition should be less than only, but you had to
Okay.
print J. Yeah. Now execute. Yeah.
Yes.
This. Okay. Now, if I have to print the character which has appeared more than two times in a string,
Character occurrence, sir.
yeah, more than two times. For example,
Okay.
I has appeared more than two times. So I want to print I. How can we do that?
I all if you in the string if you want to print only I, sir.
Mhm. Or any character
Out
which has appeared more than two times in a string
by using hash map
by using
by using
hash map.
hash map like time I'm writing the program, is this program is correct or not? I'm using hash map.
Yeah, so this will
Uh,
store values, but you also need to use set, right?
yeah. If I repeated two times, then I equal to three, or if one, two, three. Yeah, like that.
Hmm.
But map dot contains a store character 5. If I present in the map, then we'll go to this if loop.
Right.
If does not present in the map, now we're taking the map is empty. So come to the else statement and map dot put s dot character 5 means I store it into the map. But here it does not store it into this comma one.
Hmm.
If any repeating like if already present like I here comes to the I, if already is contains, yes it is contains, then come to the map dot put s dot character 5 I comma map dot get. I'm passing the key I
Hmm.
and get the value. So the value is here already stored. Value is one. One plus
Correct.
one two. Map does not allow duplicates, so it will replace it. But printing like this output.
Okay. Okay. Now can you share your screen and open Goya Bibo?
Is visible, sir?
Yeah, it's visible.
Okay.
Yeah. The second, oh yeah, first one will also do. Close box. Now you can see there is a regular button, right? Uh, Below from
Yeah,
tab.
yes, yes, sir.
Okay. Now you can see that it's pre-selected. You haven't selected it. It's by default it's selected.
Yes, sir.
So how will you validate this? So whenever the website is getting loaded, regular radio button should be pre-selected. How can we validate this?
Okay, first of all, this is a radio button. I will check that radio button is enabled or disabled.
Hmm.
Uh, First inspect this radio button like driver dot find element by dot some idea, and now dot is uh, selected, dot is enabled.
Hmm.
If it is enabled, I will do the click operation on that.
Okay, if it's enable,
It is not enabled, it is disabled now. If it is enabled in the time, I will do the click operation on the radio button, sir.
okay. But we have other
I,
function also, right?
uh, is selected option.
Is selected option, correct? Okay. By doing that, we can validate this thing. Uh,
Yes.
and now, can you hover your mouse on armed forces beside regular? So you see there is one text which is getting displayed, right? Whenever
Yes,
you
sir.
hover your mouse on that particular tab. So how can
Yes, sir.
we validate this text?
By using get text method, we can get the text.
So will it get text of which is showing below, or it will get text of that particular tab?
Once repeat the question, sir.
Yeah. I want to ensure that whenever my mouse is on that particular tab, the below message should be displayed. That mandatory for all travelers to carry a valid armed forces ID. That message. That if the correct
It's
message is
like a
coming or not.
pop-up. The message display and pop-up like a pop-up, sir.
Hmm.
If I click this radio button, the message will get. That is the scenario, sir.
Yeah. Not
Okay.
click. Even if you hover your mouse on that, you don't really need to click on that particular radio button, right? Whenever our
Okay.
mouse goes on that particular radio button, the message will be displayed.
Okay. Okay. I think that is a one type of pop-up, sir.
Hmm.
For get the text by use like a driver dot switch to dot let dot get a text method. I will get the I'm storing this one into the string.
Hmm.
I will print the message, sir.
Okay. Will that work?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Can you find out XPath for that particular radio button?
I go with the text, sir,
Hmm.
and also using the related expert like double slash tag name bracket open at the rate using text.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you already have Eclipse open in your system. Can you try and get that message if you have
This message, sir, or this message.
no, whenever we hover our mouse on that particular radio button, the message is getting displayed in the below, right? That message.
Where it is? Wait, sir, I'm actually. Okay, this
Yeah,
message, sir.
yeah, yeah, that message. So why did you use WebDriver Manager instead of system.set property? Any particular reason?
Uh, uh, WebDriver manager I'm using for particular reason is there is a dependency, sir. WebDriver manager. If any Chrome browser or any Firefox is going to update in that time, we get the exception, WebSocket exception, sir.
Hmm.
If any browser is going to be updated in that time, there is a local repository, sir. They automatically download the new jars, sir, in the
Okay,
web dependencies. So that purpose we use the WebDriver manager.
okay. So you don't have to add external jars in that, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Or you can simply print it instead of storing it into string, right? I think first you'll need to handle the window pop-up.
This is a window pop-up, sir. The expert is okay. This is a window pop-up, sir?
No, not this one. Whenever the website is getting loaded, a small pop-up will come for login, right? The one which you
Yeah.
closed.
Okay, I'm
If
using
you
range statements.
this pop-up I was talking about.
Okay. You just asking me how to close this pop-up, sir?
No, I was saying that first I think we'll have to handle this pop-up and then it will find out the web element of armed forces and the further action will be taken or oh, it's executed. So the text is armed forces only, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So
Sir, is that element is the Moodle, Moodle element, sir? Is that
yeah, you need to use actions class to move to that
actions
particular
class?
element and then you need to find out web element or XPath of that particular message. If you see in your DOM, then there is okay
That is a
inspect.
Moodle element. I will try.
Yeah, you try it later. Okay. Okay. Now tell me, do you know about regression testing?
Ah, yes, sir.
So what
Uh,
are the scenarios or on what basis you will select test cases for regression testing?
the regression testing means if any testing done on modified build, or if any addition or deleting modules, then check the is there an impact on the existing functionality.
Mm-hmm.
That is regression testing, sir. If I found any bug in that time, if I modify that, if the developer is modified that bug, or
Mm-hmm.
developer is developer is adding some more external features, in that time we do the regression testing, sir. By doing the regression testing, we can check, for example, developer added this enter text box. Is
Mm-hmm.
there any impact on this beside text box, or is there any impact on this radio button, or is there any impact on this um, radio
Regular button.
button?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we will test the regression testing like that, sir.
Okay. And on what basis you will select regression test cases? Because regression testing is mostly automated, right? It's
Yes, sir.
very rarely we do it manually. Mostly we prefer automation for regression testing. So for that we need to pick some scenarios, some test cases. So on what basis you will pick the test cases for regression? Do you have any idea on that?
I have no idea, sir.
Okay.
After
So
completing the smoke testing, sanity testing, we go to the regression testing.
no, we'll go for sanity.
Okay.
Regression we mostly do when there is an environmental change. So from dev it is into QA, or from QA into UAT. So once there is an environment change, we will perform regression, or if there are any functionality change, as you mentioned earlier, we will perform regression. So keep this in mind. Whenever we have to select test cases for regression testing, we consider two criteria. First one, the test case should be based on critical functionalities. Okay. And
Okay.
another one is the test cases are repetitive. So for example, whenever you have to book any ticket on GoAbibo, first you need to log into that particular website. Then only the flow of functionalities will be executed, right? So
Yes,
in
sir.
that case, login should be the part of your regression.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Or if you are checking this radio buttons, regular, armed, senior, student, so for that you need to provide from and to these destinations along with the date, right? So this will be
Yes.
part of your regression if there are any changes into the radio buttons.
Okay.
Okay. And now can you tell me why do we need to create traceability matrix?
Traceability, for creating the traceability matrix is you check the all the test cases should cover it or not, so that no functionality while missing while doing the test cases, while doing the execute all
Correct.
the test cases should cover it or not.
Correct. So it gives us test coverage.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Good. Now, what is the difference between a review, walkthrough, and inspection?
It comes from the static techniques. In static, we have the review, walkthrough, inspection. Review conducts on the documents, ensure correctness and completeness.
Mm-hmm.
Review conducts on the requirement analysis. Reviews conducts on the requirement gathering, analysis, designing. Review conducts on everything. Comes to the formal review. There is no minute of meetings here. It is done all suddenly. Then it is not a pre-planned.
Mm-hmm.
Walkthrough is not a pre-planned. There is no minute of meetings. A reader write the documents, do the reviews. Comes to the walkthrough review, inspection is a formal review. There is a minute of meetings. Review conducts on the documents. Writer read the documents. It is a planned review.
Okay. So review is basically what you said is about static testing where we review all the requirements and documents which we have. Walkthrough basically we can say that when the BA is giving you an introduction of that particular functionality or particular application. So it's walk you through that particular application. It's kind of a grooming, not actual grooming call, but kind of a grooming where BA will introduce you about that particular application. Okay. And when we are talking about inspection gives you scope, in what scope you can test or use that particular functionalities or that particular application. For that we will use the term inspection.
Inspection.
Can we perform automation without doing manual testing?
No, sir. Some
Why?
test cases we some test cases some single step test cases, if we have if we don't have any documentation, in that time we do the exploratory testing, sir. It's
So let us say this is the module which you have to test. Your team is asking you to test this flight module of GoIBibo and you don't have any type of documentation. What will be your approach?
exploratory testing, sir. If I don't have any documentation, first
Mm-hmm.
I understand the application and identify the scenarios
Mm-hmm.
and write the test cases for that, sir. Exploratory testing we go for, sir, manually.
Correct. So we'll do exploratory testing. We will first design test scenarios for ourselves, then we will design
Yes, sir.
test cases for that each and every scenario, and we will test accordingly.
Yes, sir.
Right. Okay. Now, do you have idea about POM? What is POM?
Yes. POM is a page objective model, sir. It is a designed pattern. With the help of whom we create a framework for maintaining the Selenium script. Each page of the application we write a separate class. In that class, set of web elements and the locators belongs to the same class. Test scripts are maintained in separate file. To call the page objects, method of page objects calls from the test scripts. The advantages of the page object model is if any changes occurs in UI, is user interface, in that time we just change only the page object files. No need to change if any add some other files, because a set of web elements and the locators belongs to the same page.
Mm-hmm.
It is also nothing but an object repository. With the help of prompt, we create an object repository for storing the web elements and the locators for each page of the application, sir. There is an annotation, that is by annotation we using page object model.
Mm-hmm.
The advantages is increase the easy maintenance, reduce the duplication of code, and
Mm-hmm.
increase the reusability.
Okay. Reusability of the code, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now tell me, how can we access data from external files in
Uh,
Selenium?
how can we access data from external files means reusable files, sir?
Yeah.
While creating an object, sir, while creating an object for one time, we can access all the reusable methods into the our class, sir, by using the object reference variable.
But object reference variable will redirect you to another classes, right?
Yes,
I'm
yes.
talking about if we are having like Excel file or CSV file and we have to fetch data from those files, how we
Excel
can
files,
do?
sir. Excel files, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, in Excel file, we have in Excel file is the combination of rows and columns.
Mm-hmm.
Um to get the data from the rows and columns, we use like first file stream for the path,
Can you write
and
the code for it?
So like this, I can write to get the data from the action sheet, sir. Here I'm getting the rows count. Like that,
Mm-hmm.
similarly, we get the cell count. Take one row. For
Mm-hmm.
example, if you take for row and get the cell count and get the number of sheets, we use the sheet dot get number of sheets, sir. And read the data, we use sheet dot get row dot get cell. Uh, if the data is present in like numerics and the strings like that, sir, we use the
Mm-hmm.
data formatter, sir, to get the data from the string. In the format of string, we use the data formatter.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Okay,
This will work.
okay.
Do you have any idea about data provider?
Sir,
Do you
hello.
have any idea about data provider?
Yes, sir. Data provider is a container, sir, to supply the data into the our test method. So our test method will execute multiple times, multiple set of test data, sir, by passing the data provider name into the our test method. The main purpose is to provide the parameters, sir, parameterization.
Mm-hmm. Data parameterization we can
Yes, sir.
achieve using data providers, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And how can we execute failed test cases in TestNG?
We can there is an ITest listener, sir.
Mm-hmm.
In the ITest listeners we use like after method will execute for every test method, sir. For every test cases we execute after method. In after method we write like can I write the code, sir?
Yeah.
So this is the code, sir, for executing the only failed test cases. I'll take the screenshot by using iTest listeners. This is the one way, sir. We have another way. First, we create a class and implement the iTest listener interfaces and selecting the failure and write the screenshot method and also executing testng.xml file also, sir.
Okay. We have that test.ng XML file for failed test cases also, right? Generated.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. There is an attribute. There is a parameter, sir. Sorry, there is a that what is the tag? Business tag in testimony.xml file, sir.
Okay. Okay. Now, can you tell me what is cached exception?
Catched exception, sir.
Yeah, checked exception. Sorry.
Checked and unchecked means checked exceptions comes from the compile time, sir. Like file not found exception, like that, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Unchecked exceptions comes from the runtime. We use the try catch block, sir.
Okay. And what is the superclass of exception?
Um, throws, sir.
Throws or throwable?
Throwable.
Throwable is the superclass in
Yes, sir.
exception stack. Okay. Now tell me, what are all OOPS concept you have implemented in your project?
Yes, I have implemented my project like OOPS concepts of inheritance, abstraction, encapsulation, polymorphism. Sir. Coming to the polymorphism, in polymorphism we write one method in many ways. Sir. Here we are using the overloading and overriding methods. Overloading HU at compile time, overriding HU at runtime. In our framework, we use overloading means in method we have the same name but passing different parameters is called overloading, sir. For example, take driver dot switch to dot frame. We can switch to frame through index, and driver dot switch to dot frame we can through id or name, and driver dot switch to dot frame we can through web element reference variable also, sir. This is the example for the overloading.
Okay.
And overriding, sir, we use the driver dot get method, sir. Means overriding means there is a class, parent class, there is a child class. In parent class, we have methods which is already implemented. If you want to recreate that method into this child class, we just change only the definition part, sir. No need to change any method name, any parameters. So,
Mm-hmm.
driver dot get is the example for the method overriding, sir. And coming to the encapsulation means wrapping of data and code together into a single unit is called encapsulation. To achieve the encapsulation, we use the access modifiers, sir, public, private, default, and protected. In page objective model, we say the web elements as a private. To access that web elements, we use the methods as a public, sir. So this is the example for the encapsulation. Abstraction means hiding the data and showing the functionality to the users. In
Mm-hmm.
We see in the page objective model, there is no set of web elements and locators. We didn't see any in the test scripts. Literally hiding the data. We just see only the actions like send case and like that only. We didn't
Mm-hmm.
see any the locators. This is the example for the abstractions. Inheritance means inheriting the properties of the parent class into this child class by using extends keyword. We create a test classes. Sir. In that test classes, we write the reusable methods, but we just use that reusable methods into our test by using the extends keywords. Sir. That is the OOPS concepts is in my framework.
Okay. And have you used collections in your project?
Yes, sir. I'm using the collections. First of all, collections is a framework. In collections, we have two interfaces: collection and map. Coming to the collection, in collection we have again three interfaces: set, list, queue. And
Mm-hmm.
coming to the map, we have two interfaces: hash map, hash map and hash table. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Coming to the list can implement array list, linked list, vector, and stack. Coming to the in set we have classes for implementing the set. That is linked hash set, tree set.
Okay.
In our framework, we use the list, map, and set. Set for window handles, list for getting the data from Excel sheet into our test scripts, and also we can use the find elements method also. And
Mm-hmm.
map means if you have the like a student name and the ID card, we can write in map we use the put keyword, so
Mm-hmm.
put method for enter the data as a key value pair.
Mm-hmm.
The in list we have In list we have the get method for retrieving the data. In set we don't have any get method sir, for retrieving the data. We just use for loop only to retrieve the data. In list we have the get method and pass the index and get the value. Coming to the map, we have the we it is used to store the key value pair. If you want to get the data, we pass the key and get the value in hash map. List does not list gives ordered elections. Uh, set set does not give ordered collections. List allows duplicate values. Set does not allows duplicate values. Coming to the map, hash map does not allows duplicate keys. The allows duplicate values.
Okay. Okay.
So these
So
are
in your resume, I have found that you are working on Cucumber as well, or have you used Cucumber?
but I didn't use Cucumber, sir, but I have knowledge in Cucumber. Cucumber is a plain English language. We can write the test cases and test scenarios in plain English language. We use Jerkin language for developing the test cases. We write Cucumber in three files: feature file, step definition file, test runner. In feature files, we use the keywords given when, then, and identify the scenario. For example, we take the login credentials. We write the I'm entering the valid login credentials. In given, we write the precondition. User is navigated to the login credentials. When we write the condition, when user enter the username and password,
Mm-hmm.
then user click on the login button, and then user navigated to the home page. Like this we write, sir, like a positive way, negative way. User entered with the invalid credentials, like that, sir. In step definition file we write the actual code. In test runner we place the path and run the test, sir. This
So
is the
do you
cooking.
have any idea about hooks in Cucumber?
I don't know, I have no ideas.
Okay. The way we are having annotations in test engine, no? The same we
Yeah.
are having annotations in Cucumber, which is known as hooks.
Okay.
So at the rate before, at the rate after, they use like that.
Okay. Okay.